Living in Nanaimo, you may encounter some things you may not have thought about. I sure didn't. Coming up is my list of 5 unexpected truths about moving to Nanaimo, BC. Hi, I'm Rita, and welcome back to my channel where I share my experience of relocating myself and others to Nanaimo and the surrounding areas on Vancouver Island, British Columbia. Today I'll be sharing some things that I've come across that took me a bit by surprise. Some of these you may have encountered if you live in BC in general, but make sure you stick around till the end to find out something that makes Nanaimo truly stand out. Before we begin, it would mean the world for me to hear from you, so make sure to check out my Calendly link to book a time to speak with me about your Nanaimo and Vancouver Island questions. Vancouver Island is abundant with wildlife. Having moved from an area on the mainland with a large black bear population, and also having spent some time in areas with a lot of deer like Salt Spring Island, I wasn't extremely surprised to see a lot of the same here in Nanaimo. One critter I was a bit more taken aback by was the rabbits. Nanaimo does have an out-of-control issue with invasive species of rabbits, European rabbits and eastern cottontails. What used to be a larger issue on university and airport grounds, now just driving down any streets in the city, you will see large groups of these guys. And although very cute, they are causing damage to property and agricultural crops and are detrimental to native wildlife and habitats. The reason the population has grown to what it is due to domesticated rabbits being released into the wild. And we all know what happens from that point on. And while they may be tame enough to pet, doing so is discouraged. One of the kindest things you can do for them if you wish to help is to create a dual-sided enclosure with hay and water, and by keeping your dogs and cats inside or on a leash to prevent them from chasing and scaring the bunnies. If you're looking for more ways to help, there are organizations looking for volunteers, which I will link in the video description below. Now on to population growth. In 2021, when my family moved here, we thought we were the only geniuses looking to relocate to this hidden gem on Vancouver Island. Wrong, we weren't alone. That year, the census revealed a 10.3% population growth in Nanaimo from 2016, with a population of almost 100,000 people. This was almost double the national average of 5.2%. Nanaimo's 2024 population of 107,000 people is another 12% increase in just 3 years. If you're considering a move to Nanaimo, don't wait too long, as the projected population of the regional district of Nanaimo, which encompasses areas like Lanceville, Parksville, and Qualicum Beach as well, is set to hit over 263,000 people by 2041. This place is getting busier for sure, so if you have school-aged children, make sure you apply to your school catchment as soon as you can. And even with the population growth, I still really enjoy the ability to run into people I know almost anywhere in Nanaimo. It's like a big little city, and the strength of our school and extracurricular communities is so wonderful, I honestly couldn't imagine living anywhere else. So if you're on the fence but are scared to ruffle certain people's feathers, don't be. This is a very welcoming and terrific place to live and raise a family. All of this growth has led to the implementation of Nanaimo's new R5 zoning. To understand this a little better, most homes you see in residential neighborhoods fall under R1 zoning. This means on one parcel of land, you can have one home. Zoning is the regulation your home has in respect to its uses. So for example, it prevents things like a giant industrial building being erected in the middle of your tree-lined residential neighborhood. With the increase in population, the city is making an effort to add housing density in response to Bill 44, the small-scale multi-unit housing initiative. The act had local government update zoning bylaws to allow for more than one dwelling on your property, with certain guidelines. You can now have up to 4 units on your lot. For example, your home can have a suite, plus you can have a carriage house. You can also have a duplex, each with its own suite. This is excellent news to take pressure off of the housing demand, and I strongly recommend you speak with your banking or real estate professional if you live in Nanaimo and are curious about expanding your property in this way. Now, this one isn't local news, but Canada currently has a ban on foreign buyers, meaning if you're not a resident of Canada, sorry, but you can't buy a house. Initially, this was only set to take place for 2 years, beginning on January 1st of 2023. This has now been extended to January 1st of 2027, and vacant lots are now exempt from this prohibition. This initiative is supposed to offset rising housing costs and get more Canadians into home ownership by stopping people from other countries from buying up all of our real estate. The good news for some is that certain areas outside of census areas are exempt from this ban. On Vancouver Island, Nanaimo Bay, for example, is considered foreign buyer ban exempt, as is Gabriela Island. I've linked a handy map tool in the video description, but please double check with an immigration lawyer or other professional if you're curious about whether or not the home you might be looking at from abroad is exempt from this ban. It didn't take me long after moving to Nanaimo to realize there was something uniquely awesome about this city. So much so that my son Simon and I dedicated an entire short video to this topic. Nanaimo is known for its funny street names. A few of my favorites include Bergen Op Zoom Drive, Giggleswick Place, Dingle Bingle Hill, and Twiggly Wiggly Road. Our former mayor, Frank Ney, had a huge impact on Nanaimo's fun-loving approach to city planning. This is particularly felt in Departure Bay's Sherwood Forest community. This Robin Hood thematic naming reflects in street names such as Robin Hood Drive, Loxley Place, Sherwood Drive, and King Richard Drive, to name a few. That's it for today, but if you have any questions on what to expect for your move to Nanaimo, be sure to drop me a line. I'd also love to hear from you in the comments, and be sure to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.